welcome to Sketchbook Chronicles, Episode 1 of Human Anatomy Made Easy. I'm going to start off by showing you the basic anatomy of the leg. Feel free to draw along with me as we go. Refer to this video as often as you need to, or pause your device to take your time and get the most out of it. The most important lesson that I can teach you is that the highest skill level comes from repetition. Repeating the process and drawing a lot is paramount to becoming better. It's said that perfect practice makes perfect. Of course, perfection takes time to develop, and it manifests itself over time through repetition. So be patient and kind to yourself and just do the best that you can do each day. And you'll find that your best a week from now will be better than it is today. I believe this applies to every aspect in life. So let's get started. As you can see, I chose to draw the front of the leg first. Now, working with anatomy, I find it more enjoyable to work with the male figure because most of the muscles are more prominent and easier to spot. Now, having said that, I enjoy drawing both male and female figures because they bring unique beauty to the world of human form. The front of the leg is broken down into three basic muscle groups, or I should say major, larger muscles. On the top there you have the three basic muscles in the quadricep are basically the inner, outer, and midsections. And then, of course, the calf muscle, which is predominantly viewed from the back. But I'll rarely use proper medical terms to describe the anatomical structures of muscles because, in my humble opinion, you don't need to know the names of the muscles to become proficient at drawing them. You just need to know where they are and how they work. And I'll start by showing you where they are in relationship to one another as we go through these episodes. And you can add in your own rendering if you want. I'm just kind of pushing a little bit of the muscle fibers and just kind of touching a few things up. And in this episode of Sketchbook Chronicles, I'm just going over the leg for now, because when studying anatomy, it's better to learn in smaller increments than the whole thing at once. Future videos that I do will include arms, back, torso, hands, feet, head, face, and then we'll put it all together in a final anatomy video. It'll be lots of fun. Now, these examples that I'm going to show you are the front, the side, and the rear view of the leg. And they're all rough sketches, nothing refined or finished. You're welcome to render if you think you need to. I really enjoy rendering. It's just not something that is required to show you what I'm trying to show you today in these rough sketches. So we're looking at the side view right now. And as I'm drawing that out, I'm just kind of blocking in the basic forms of the leg. Kind of split it in half with the knee. The side view of the leg is easy to draw when you break it down into thirds. Quadricep, knee, and the calf. The calf muscle is the lower part of the leg. Quadricep is the upper part. I start with the front of the quad, which is the upper leg there, and then I block in the knee, and then I draw the basic outline of the calf. As you can see, I did. And then I kind of, it's okay to erase. Sometimes I'll get in there and I'll look at something and I'm thinking, well, you know what? That doesn't need to be there. I'll go ahead and erase that. Not a big deal. Go ahead and erase all you want. There are a lot of artists say never erase. And you know what? I love that idea. If you can get to that point in your artwork where you're feeling confident and you don't erase, just draw over it. And that's a great concept. That's a great tool to learn. Anatomy is a building process. Build it piece by piece and then put it together. And you can see that's kind of what I'm trying to do there with that side view of the leg. I'm putting in a little rendering there on the calf muscle and the hamstring, which is the back of the leg. A little bit on the ankle there. A little bit underneath the glute. Kind of outline that just a touch, just to kind of give you a bit of a better idea, more concise view of what we're trying to accomplish here. Tendons and ligaments and smaller muscle groups will attach those, wrap around and in between, connecting and all of that. But this is just a basic overview of the side view of a leg. And we can kind of look at the back view of the leg in a similar way. The upper part is the hamstring, then the midsection will be the back of the knee, then the lower part here that I'm drawing in right now is the calf muscle. And you can see that a couple of times I get ahead of myself a little bit here. As I'm sketching that in, I have to erase a little bit and rethink what I'm doing. sketching it a little quicker than I would normally. This is sped up a little bit for convenience of viewing, but when sketching these, you'll get used to the speed at which you feel comfortable. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's what the Racer is for. And to coin the phrase of Bob Ross, we don't make mistakes, just happy accidents, right? Have a lot of fun with that. So the back view of the leg consists of the hamstring muscle and the calf muscle. The hamstring is constructed of, two basic larger muscles that was shown you there, overlapped by the quadriceps. The calf muscles also, the calf muscle also consists of two major muscles, and they overlap they're overlapped by the tendons and that sort of a thing that attaches to the foot and the ankle. Again, just lightly block the larger muscles in and put them together with hips, knees, ankles, and the feet. And then the tendons and smaller muscles can be drawn in once the main construction of the leg is complete. And then you can add a little rendering or muscle fibers to enhance your study if you want. So then I come in on the calf muscle, I just kind of adjust that a little bit. And again, there are things that I'm putting in that you may not see if you're just looking at human form. I'm just using a 3D reference that I have to kind of get some ideas of placement. And then a little bit of rendering and making sure that those smaller muscle groups and tendons are at least insinuated. And the back of the leg can be a little bit tricky sometimes, especially when you're not including all of the major muscle groups and small muscle groups. But once you draw what I'm drawing here enough, then you can learn quickly what to leave out, especially if you attend any life drawing classes, which I highly recommend. And if you don't have access to that, there are a number of online opportunities that you can obtain life references. It's never a real great substitute for life drawing classes, but it's better than nothing, certainly. I hope you've enjoyed this first tutorial of Sketchbook Chronicles. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next episode of Sketchbook Chronicles. Have a wonderful day and enjoy drawing.